In today's video, Rebel forces face the crushing might of an AT-AT Imperial Walker as we play another round of the classic Star Wars miniatures game from Wizards of the Coast. Well, hi folks, it's Lee from SkirmishWarGames.com. Welcome to the channel. If you watched our last couple of battle reports, we've been revisiting the old Star Wars miniatures game from Wizards of the Coast, which ran from about 2004 to 2010. Maybe a year and a half ago, we unboxed our big AT-AT Colossal Pack, which Wizards put out around 2005. It's a little bit cumbersome on a small table. I think if you use this on a 4x6 mat with maybe the Battle of Hoth scenario or something like that with a lot of forces, probably a little more practical. But it's kind of a neat model, and since we sort of said we were going to try it, we're going to try it. So we did try a practice game earlier today where we had the Colossal figure fighting a bunch of Mandalorians, and because they were mostly infantry, and I didn't have a lot of Mandalorian armor, it was a little bit lopsided, and the AT-AT just kind of walked off the board before they could do much to it. So we thought, well, what we'll do is we'll back it up. We'll kind of create a Alamo type encounter. So our scenario today is kind of imagine that a bunch of rebel infiltrators have captured a remote desert outpost from the Empire. So they've commandeered a couple of AT-AT Walkers, and they've set up their Atgar cannons on a couple of high points, and they're digging in. And so the Empire has sent in a Walker, a big AT-AT Walker, to kind of clear them out, to make it through the center of town, and to blow up the shield generator on the far side of town. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll show you how the AT-AT mechanics work. So Lynn, you're going to be playing our scrappy rebels, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you've fortified your position. The Walker comes into town, and you're ready to give it hell.
That's true.
Okay. And now you have some Walkers to play with, because in the practice game we played, it was mostly Mandalorian infantry and then a couple of droids. And frankly, they just kind of ran up to the Walker and started pounding on its ankles. And
not doing much damage.
Not doing much damage. It just kind of ignored them and sort of walked off the board. So maybe the dug-in rebels here with their heavy weapons and their light armor might be able to make a little bit more impact on the big Walker.
Let's hope so.
So at some point in the future, we do have a couple of Battle of Hoth scenario packs. And so once we get access to a larger table at some point, we'll do a big 4x6 battle with the snow speeders and the rebel troopers and the shield generators and all that stuff, and see how the AT-AT fits into that. But for today, we're just going to do a small sample game. This is sort of a balanced scenario. The AT-AT itself is about 200 points. It has 300 hit points, but its cost value is 200. And I'm giving him a couple of stormtroopers, 10 points worth of stormtroopers, because once people get behind the AT-AT, he can't really shoot. He can only shoot in his forward firing arc. Other limitations are he can only move forward, he can't turn around, he can stop, and he can kind of go at a slight angle. So that means once someone gets behind him, behind his firing arc, he doesn't have much protection. But if they're underneath him, as he's moving, he can stomp. They have to make a save against being destroyed. He's got heavy lasers and heavy blaster cannons that can kind of fire in a 180-degree arc, so pretty much anything in front of him. So here's some of the capabilities of the AT-AT Colossal Walker. He's heavily armored, which means when he gets shot at, he's going to have a 20-point damage reduction. Now that can be mitigated somewhat if people rush up and attack him at close range. If they get adjacent to him or underneath him, then they can seek out the weak points, and then it's just a 10-point reduction. However, if you're right underneath him or right in front of him, as he's moving forward, he can stomp, and so that has the possibility of eliminating someone outright if they don't make a save. And I will mention that in the original Star Wars miniatures game, that's a grid-based game, so usually there's squares involved. We're doing it here on a board. We're going to use inches instead of squares, unless someone's right under the Walker, we can use those squares. And also, we're using 3D terrain, so we're just kind of eyeball cover and things like that as we go, what seems to make sense. So another interesting thing about the AT-AT is it basically gets 6 activations per turn. And so that sort of represents the fact that it's this big walking, lumbering thing with independent guns, and you know, it's moving forward and the blasters are firing and there's different gunners on different weapons. So in any given turn, he can move forward 2 inches per activation for a total of 8. So 4 different movements, and those are kind of staggered throughout the turn. He can also fire the heavy lasers twice at one point and the medium blasters twice at one point. So basically, in any given turn, he can move up to 4 times, fire the heavy lasers, and then fire the heavy blasters as long as there's a target in front of him.
The nice thing about the heavy lasers, at least if you get hit, you can make a save roll on those.
So the heavy laser does do splash damage to any targets around the original target, but they do get a save. They do get a save of 11 to avoid getting hit by the heavy laser. And then the medium blasters don't have that. They do less damage. I don't think they have the splash, but there's no save. So basically it just does damage. Okay, so let's try this out. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate by doing so you guys can see how it all works. So we're going to start off by rolling for initiative, and then whoever wins that can choose to move first or have the other player move first. If this was an all-infantry game, then the first player would move 2 characters, and then the next player would move 2 characters. But in this case, because the walker's involved, it might move once, it might move twice, it might move once and then let a stormtrooper move. It might have 2 stormtroopers move and not move at all. So it'll sort of vary. So that walker throws a little wrinkle into the rules, but we'll explain that as we go. So let's go ahead and roll for some initiative. I have an 18. You have a 5. So this card is kind of important. You may notice these little circles here on the side. That sort of represents the various activation options that the AT-AT can use during its turn. So it gets 6 activations, and so 4 of those dots represent movement. So 4 of its activations have to be movement of some type, even if it's just standing still. And then there's another one for firing the medium blasters and another one for firing the heavy lasers. So for this turn, I think my first thing I'm going to do is use my heavy laser activation, and we're going to take out some of these cannons. So he is going to shoot at that AT-AT cannon there, the first one. He's going to use his heavy laser. So his heavy laser cannon has an attack of +6, and your defense is what?
Only 8.
Only 8. So he only needs to get a 2 or better. So we got a 5, so that hit.
So then I can do a save roll, right?
I believe if I'm reading the card right, it says that on a hit, it does 60 damage to the target and 20 damage to each character adjacent to the target, save 11. Now, one could interpret that the save is only for the people adjacent, but it doesn't really say that, so we'll see if you save from the heavy laser cannon. And 5,
nope.
You don't, so you take 60 points.
So he has 20 points left.
20 points left. We'll fire again. Got a 19 with the second shot. So when he fires the heavy laser cannon or the medium blasters, he gets 2 shots on that activation. 11. But you did save.
All
so
right.
They must have scooched it out of the way a little bit. So
Put the
that
refractors up.
Yeah, that is his first activation. And then for my second activation, I do have a little stormtrooper here. And I think he's going to move up to about there and shoot this rebel trooper. So that rebel trooper has a defense of what?
13.
13. The stormtrooper has an attack of +4, 13, 17. So he got him. He does 10 points of damage. How many points does that?
So that's the end of that trooper.
That's the end of the rebel trooper. All right. Then we'll mark that guy as moved. And so that is my first 2 activations of turn 1.
Okay.
So you have 2 activations now, and you get to select 2 characters or vehicles. And what are you going to do?
I'm going to use this AT-AT right here, the one that's got snow on here.
Yeah, that's actually a Blizzard Walker from the Battle of Hoth scenario pack.
His attack is +8.
Okay. And the Walker has a defense of 13, so you need to roll and get a 5 or better.
An
You got
11.
11. You got him?
So
Does he have double? He's got double shot, doesn't he?
I do, so I get
Okay.
to shoot twice.
So
he does 40 damage, so it's -20,
Okay.
so it's 20 damage.
all right. So normally he would do 40, but because the Walker has armor, that's down to 20. And shoot again.
6.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So my defense is 13. Your attack is +8, so that's a 14. So you hit. So that's 20 more.
That's 40 points of damage. Nice shooting.
Okay.
And while we're on a roll, we're going to do the other AT as well.
That is the Battle of Endor scenario pack, AT-ST.
I like the flames.
So you need a 13 or better with an attack of 8.
So I need to roll a 5 or better.
13?
18.
Oh, 18.
Yeah.
Okay, 18, you got him?
Yep.
And you want to roll again?
Yep.
The double
So that's
attack.
20 points of
That's
damage.
20 points.
And 19. So another 40
19.
points.
So another 40 points. Whittling away.
Long way to whittle, but we're working on it. What are you going to do now?
Okay, for the first activation, he is going to move forward 2. So the AT-AT lumbers forward 2 inches. So that's 1 activation. That's one of his 4 movements for this turn. For his second activation, he's going to unleash his medium blasters at the AT-AT cannon there. which we wounded last time but didn't kill.
Yeah, you wounded him pretty good.
How many points does he have left?
20.
20. Okay, so medium blaster makes 2 attacks. Attack plus 10, damage 20. What's his defense? His defense is only 8, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to be toast.
Okay, so I got a 5 plus 10, that's 15. It does 20 points.
So he's toast.
So that's the end of the AT-AT cannon.
Yep.
Path. My second medium blaster, I think. What is the defense on an AT-ST?
14.
14. I think he's going to shoot this Blizzard Walker over here that shot at him. His attack is plus 10. Your defense is 14. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So 4 or better.
Yes.
And I got a 19. So that's 20 points off of the Blizzard Walker.
I think he gets a damage reduction.
Probably does.
Yep, damage reduction of 10. So 10. So he's down to 110.
Down to 110. Okay. I fired the medium blasters. I moved forward 2 inches. And so that is my activation. Now what are you
I'm
going
going
to
to do both the cannons.
Okay.
So I'm going to use this AT-AT cannon to shoot at the Colossal Walker.
Shoot at the AT-AT. And what is the AT-AT cannon's attack?
Plus 3.
Plus 3. His defense is 13. The AT-AT cannon is not that great, is it?
No, it's pretty wimpy.
How much damage does it do?
Only 30, so it'll only do
30.
10.
Okay. So you need a 10 or better.
Yep. 2.
2. Does he get more than one shot?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's why it's only 15 points.
Yeah.
It's not much more than a normal infantry guy. Well, it's not much more than maybe an elite infantry guy.
Yep. Okay,
Okay,
so now
so
we'll
the
try
other
the other
cannon.
one.
14 plus 3 is 17.
So 10 damage.
10 damage. Yeah. So normally you would do 30,
yeah.
minus 20 for the armor. So that
And
is,
no splash
10.
damage because there's no one around it.
Right. So that's a total of 90 points off the AT-AT.
But you've done all your shooting this round already, so
I've
that's
done all
good.
my shooting.
That's a bonus. So now you got to move or stand still.
Right. So he is going to move forward 4, so that's his 2 activations.
All right.
And that leaves him 1 activation left, but it's only got one movement in it because he used one of his movements earlier for the Stormtrooper. So now it's your turn to activate 2 of your rebels, and you're kind of thinking about this heavy weapon
Yeah, I'm going to
trooper
use the heavy trooper there.
Okay, now he can't move and fire, but we sort of feel like using the base to sort of determine where the walker is that he, yeah, I guess he could fire up. So yeah, so that's in line of sight, and the trooper is getting some cover from the corner. The walker doesn't get cover because it's too darn big.
So he has an attack of plus 6.
All right, you need a 13 or better. 8, 14. So how much damage does your laser bazooka do?
30, so 10.
Okay, so 10. So now you've knocked a total of 100 points off of the AT-AT. All right, so you fired your heavy trooper. We kind of looked at the other heavy trooper you have sort of over here, and he's not quite in line of sight because of that corner. So what are you going to do?
I think I'm going to try to take out this stormtrooper here.
Okay. Okay, so you're running up to this other stormtrooper just to kind of take him out, huh?
I'm going to try.
All right.
The rebel troopers have an attack of plus 5. What's your defense?
Regular stormtrooper has a defense of 16.
So an 11 or better. Nope.
Nope, didn't quite get him.
All right, what are you going to do?
Okay, well, I have a lonely little stormtrooper over here, and I think he's going to move. I think I'll move him 6. Let's see if I can get a shot at something. Move up about 6, and probably try to take a shot at this AT-AT cannon. We're going to give the cannon cover. He probably wouldn't get cover from the AT-AT because it's above him, but we'll say he's getting cover from being in his defensible position there. So the little stormtrooper here is going to take a shot at the AT-AT cannon here. His attack is 4, plus 4, and your defense is only plus 8.
And then plus 4 from the cover.
Yeah.
So 12.
Okay, so plus 12. So he needs an 8 or better. 13. He hits. He does 10.
10. So he's down to 70.
on the AT-AT cannon, which is apparently made of chandelier crystal. So
I don't know if it's even that strong.
So that is the little stormtrooper. The little stormtrooper that could. And then the walker is going to move forward 2. So that is his final action for this turn. Lumbering forward, trying to get to that shield generator. All right, so do you have anybody left? Oh, you got 2 people left.
I got 3.
So you got 3 guys left. That is a rebel commander. That is a heavy weapons trooper. And on the opposite side of the street, you have this lonely little trooper here who's just kind of hiding out by the cantina door. Okay, so the trooper by himself can't really even damage the AT-AT because he only does 10 points of damage. If he's adjacent to the AT-AT, yeah, he could run up, fire, get a critical, do 20 points of damage. Which
Could miraculously get into his wiring.
Right, would be reduced by 10 because he's adjacent, and then do 10 points.
I think I'm going to take out the stormtrooper first.
Okay. So you're going to move your little rebel fleet trooper guy.
Then we're going to shoot the stormtrooper.
Okay. Poor little stormtrooper has a defense of 16.
My rebel has +5.
Okay. So he needs an 11 or better. He got an 8. +5 is 13. He needs a 16. Didn't quite do it. Okay, so your last 2 guys who haven't activated are your heavy weapons trooper
and the
captain. They charged the base with 100 rebel troopers, and now they're down to just 3. So, plus a couple guys manning the cannons and a couple more guys in the commandeered AT-AT walkers.
So 2 to the corner, and then 4 back here.
Okay.
And this guy is going to do the same.
All right. So these guys are now outside the firing arc.
So that's everybody.
That's everybody. All right. Let's roll for some initiative.
Okay.
I got a 4. You got a 14.
Yay, initiative.
Okay. So do you wish to move first or have me move first?
I will attack first.
Okay, you're going to attack first? All right.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a couple of AT-AT cannons. You got that one there? Is that the one you're shooting with?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot with my malfunctioning glass cannon, otherwise known as the AT-AT cannon.
Okay, so one of the remaining AT-AT cannons is going to shoot at the AT-AT. My defense is 13.
It's only +3, so I need a 10 or better.
Yeah. 5.
Okay. So nothing.
That's what you get for using antiquated equipment. So that was your first activation.
I'm now going to scream loudly with my little rebel trooper and try to scare the stormtrooper so that he drops his gun.
Okay. His defense is 16.
And I only have +5, so let's see what we can do.
13 or better.
Ah, I got him.
15, you did get him. So how much damage do you do?
10.
10. Okay. All right, so that's the end of the stormtrooper. There leaves me 1 left.
So I did manage to make him drop his weapon.
So you shot an AT-AT cannon, you fired with your rebel trooper, and now... Okay, so the AT-AT right here. Well, a lot of these guys are now kind of outside the firing arc. I could... how many points does the AT-AT cannon have?
80 points.
80 points. He's going to fire his heavy lasers at the AT-AT cannon. Attack +6. Your defense is only 8, right?
Yeah.
1. Critical miss.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So take a second shot. And that is a 15. Now, you do get a defensive roll, though.
I do get my
of
save
11.
roll.
Let's hope you don't make that.
Yes!
11.
Give me
All
my
right.
dice.
Okay, so there is a little bit of debate as to whether you would get that save. I'm not sure if that means for splash damage or whatever, but anyway, according to the card, you do get a save against the heavy laser cannon, so you did, and that is his heavy laser shot. Now, the next thing he's going to do, he's going to move 1 inch diagonal.
Okay.
Just so he can stomp on your trooper.
But I can get a save roll to see if I can jump out of the way.
You do get a save roll of 6+, and I hope you get stomped upon.
You just want to watch me get squished.
5!
He got squished.
He got stomped. That's a moral victory. I'll take that. I fired, and I walked, so that's my 2 activations.
All right.
Now it's your turn.
So I'm going to fire the AT-ST, the Endor one,
Yeah,
at the walker.
the jungle one. So they have the jungle one, and the other one is the Arctic one, but they're both here in the desert, so go
Yes.
figure. So it's firing at the AT-AT, and its attack is what?
+8.
+8. You need a 5 or better to get 13.
19.
So you got him. So that's 20 points.
And then I will try again. Oops. 2.
So 20 points. One solid hit. It's normally 40, but the armor deflects 20 points of it. So that is 40, 80, 100, 120 points off of the poor AT-AT. Okay, for your second activation.
I'm going to use my last AT-AT cannon. He's got a +3 against your defense of 13, so I need a 10 or better.
Okay.
20. Oh,
critical
nice.
hit. Okay, so
Nice.
how much damage do you normally do?
30.
30. So a critical hit, it doubles that. So that's 60 minus 20 for armor, and so that's 40 points.
I'll
off
take
the
it.
AT-AT.
I'll take it.
So your Rebel Blockade is now knocked 160 points off the AT-AT. It has 300 total, so it's more than halfway. All right, so it's fired its heavy lasers, but it still has the medium blasters, so it's going to fire the medium blasters at this wounded AT-AT cannon. How many points does that have off of it?
That one has 10 points off of it.
Okay, so it has how many left?
70.
70 points left on the AT-AT cannon. So medium blaster has an attack of +10 versus your defense of 8.
Yeah.
So as long as I don't get a 1, so that's an 8, so that's 20 points, no save.
Okay.
And 19, so that's another 20 points, no save.
So he's down to 30.
Down to 30. Yeah, he'll just angle it to kind of straighten out.
All right, so
And that
that's
is-
your 2.
That's my 2. Okay, for your next 2 activations.
So I'm going to start with my Rebel Heavy Trooper.
Okay.
He's got damage of 30 and attack of +6 against your walker.
Okay. 9, 14. You got him?
Okay, and he does 30 damage,
Okay.
so 10. And then since I'm next to the captain, the captain has the commander effect. Rebel troops followers within 6 spaces gain twin attack, so I get to attack twice.
Okay. 15. So that's another 10
All right.
from the laser bazooka.
Redemption for you squashing my other
Yeah.
one.
So that's 150, 60, 70, 80. 180 points off the AT-AT. All right, and for your second guy for this activation.
So for this activation, I'm going to take my little Rebel Trooper here and move him around. And another 2.
All right, so he's moved around the cantina door, and I do have a defense of 16, and you have an attack of what?
5.
5, so 11 or better. 14, you got him. Pow! So you killed the stormtrooper.
I did.
So that's your 2, right?
Yeah.
Well, since all my poor little stormtroopers are gone, the only thing I can do is move forward. So I'm going to take my 4 inches of movement. Plod forward. I guess that's my turn. Okay, you have 2 guys left. You got your captain and then your Blizzard Scout, your Blizzard AT-ST, right?
Right. And the captain's just going to sit there.
And then the Blizzard Scout, what's that going to do?
My AT-ST is going to shoot at the AT. So I have +8, so I need a 5 or better.
5 or better.
A 1.
All right, so 1 in this game is a critical miss, so that's nothing.
We'll give it one more shot, see if we can do some damage. 14, yes.
All right, so you hit.
So
That
it'll
does
do 40 damage, so 20.
20 points. Get through the armor. Whittling him down. Definitely. Okay, so we have a new turn.
I need some initiative here.
Okay. I have a 19.
I have a 3. Okay, what are you going to do?
So I think he's feeling like it's time to move. All right, he's indulged himself by stepping on rebels and firing at cannons and all that, but I think right now he's going to take his 2 actions and move a total of 4 inches. And that is his first activation. Okay, so it's your activation. You get to activate 2 characters. And what are you going to do?
I'm going to attack with both my AT-STs.
Okay.
Let's start with
They're on both. They're on both sides, so they're going
Yeah.
to catch him in a crossfire. All right. So the indoor one.
Yes. So +8.
15.
Good.
You got him. So that's another 20 points.
And we'll do it one more time. That one's a 14, so got him again.
Okay.
So 40 points.
So after the indoor scout fired, the AT-AT is down 240 points out of 300. So he's getting perforated. And now the Blizzard Scout is going to fire.
Same thing.
15, he hits. That's another 20.
And a 6.
6 plus what?
8.
14. That's another 20.
Okay.
So that is minus 280 out of a total of 300.
I'm guessing he's going to go and splatter the shield generator.
You feel like, yeah, now that smoke is pouring out of him and he's getting kind of wobbly, he thinks he needs to charge forward and collapse nose first into the shield generator. So he's going to take his 2 actions. He's going to move forward 4 and just eke out across the board and disable that shield generator. So he's going to stumble forward, crash nose first into the shield generator, which then explodes, and that allows the Imperial fleet to bombard the outpost. And really, there's no Imperials left except for the ones in the almost dead Walker anyway. All right, well, that was pretty darn close. That was very darn close. 20 more points.
Close.
I'm surprised how well the AT-ST Walkers did against the AT-AT, but I guess that's not surprising. So I think in our practice game, had you had some light armor, you would have done better. Infantry just doesn't cut it.
I needed more firepower because I couldn't damage him.
Yeah.
Unless I was standing next to him.
Yeah.
Which then he squashes them.
Right. Well, at least, yeah, he was able to stagger off the board. It's kind of hard because he's basically walking down a gun line here with people on both sides. And the heavy lasers do a lot of damage, but because you get a save against them, it's easy to just ignore the damage. So against infantry, he's pretty useful. It's difficult when you're trying to shoot at these cannons and they have 80 points and the AT-ST Walkers have 120 points and your cannons do 60 points or 20 points. Hard to really whittle them down. So we can say the MVPs were probably...
We're definitely,
Yeah, the AT-ST Walkers that were stolen by the rebels when they infiltrated the outpost here on the edge of the desert. All right, so that's pretty cool, and hopefully that gives you an idea how the AT-AT mechanic works in Star Wars miniatures from Wizards of the Coast. Going back to 2005, I think this was a 2005 model, and we actually unboxed it probably about 18 months ago, and you can check that out on the channel if you're interested. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. As always, if you like the things we do here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and of course, please visit us online at our website, skirmishwargames.com.